was one of the greatest guys I knew. These are just a few of the thoughts I've heard over the past few days about my dad. I've also heard many of you mention tragic, sad, unfair, but I would challenge all of you to look at it from a different perspective. One filled with blessings and fortune. Some people search their whole life looking for someone to love and never find it. Greg was fortunate to find a great love twice. He was also blessed to have such great friends and family as all of you. And we are lucky to have known Greg. All of us in this building are a better person for having known him. Better fishermen, better craftsmen, better softball players, better friends, better tailgaters, better storytellers, all in general better people. Greg made an impact on all of us in unique and individual ways. He had the ability to connect with people. Many guests from the viewing last night were prior customers for whom he did work. There was one couple that said, "Your father built bookcases for us in our house many years ago. He was a great man." And I thought, wow, Dad made such an impact on this couple in relatively only a couple of days, in such a short time, many years ago, to the point that they wanted to come pay tribute and send their condolences. I thought, I don't think I would ever go for my tile guy or do the same thing. Or my fence guy. But that's just who Dad was and how he touched people. He was a father, a friend, a boss, a co-worker, a brother, an uncle, a mentor, a husband, a grandfather, a coach, a companion, and a giver. You know, I've often questioned, I'm sure as many of you had, if he wasn't going to pull through the accident, why didn't he just pass on that day? Why did he survive for 5 months and make it through 30+ hours of surgery? And I think it's because he knew the impact that it would have on all of us if he passed that day. Being a giver, he fought hard to give us more time. Time to get things in order. Time to prepare everything around the house with the business. Time for us to say everything we needed. And time to come to terms and peace with it. Ever since my wife Samantha and I started seriously dating, Dad began asking about when we were going to make him a grandpa. I said, "Dad, slow down, we're not even married yet." And he kept saying, "Well, don't wait too long. I want to be young enough to enjoy my grandkids and be able to teach them things." I'm just so thankful for the time that my dad had with Gavin. I've never seen him light up the way he did around his grandson. He would come home from a long day of work exhausted, and he'd see Gavin there and just light up. And they tell us numerous stories about how him, Beth, and Haley were marching and parading around the house. And they were stomping and all different fun things, tractor rides, reading books. But of course, he wasn't content with just one grandchild. Soon he started asking for more. Samantha and I started trying for number 2 last fall. And Samantha even took a pregnancy test on Christmas morning in hopes of having some good holiday news to share. It was negative. A week and a half later after the accident, Samantha and I were in a room in the ICU with Dad. And she made the 3 of us hold hands and say a little prayer. That prayer ended in, to my and Dad's surprise, of her pulling out a pregnancy test and saying she was pregnant with number 2. This time gave us the ability to tell him he was going to be a grandfather again, and he would live on through another grandchild. When my mom passed a few years ago, my dad wrote me a letter, and I'd like to share part of that with you. He wrote, "The grandchild will surely display some of Mom's characteristics, values, talents, and personality. How lucky are we to be able to see a bit of her through the new baby for years to come. That's a blessing from God." Samantha and I have had the sex of the baby in a sealed envelope for weeks now. Last week one night, we went to visit Dad, reminded him that there's another grandchild on the way, and that he would be a grandpa once over. And it felt only natural and fitting for us to open the envelope with his presents. We were fortunate to share this special time with him, and to take bliss in the news that it's a boy. Another grandson on the way. Another strong Adams boy to carry on the family names, traditions, and Dad, we are the lucky ones. For through your grandchildren, we will get to see a little bit of you for years to come. Another blessing from God. Greg wouldn't want to die in vain. He would want his experience to serve as a lesson and give each and every one of you a better appreciation for just how precious life is. Our family had a beautiful Christmas morning together. As we were getting ready to go, I wanted to thank my dad for all the great and thoughtful gifts, but he was heading out to the barn to take care of the horses. I said to myself, I'll just thank him tomorrow morning at our Christmas celebration at Uncle Tim's house. That Christmas celebration at Uncle Tim's never came, as the accident was that morning. Dad's experience is a reminder to all of us that life is fragile and life is a gift. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. Live life to the fullest today. Take that trip you've been talking about for years. Read that book you've been wanting to read. Learn to do something new. Be the person you want to be. Finally, don't leave things unsaid. Make sure you tell people you care about how much they feel and how much they